Hi, this is Don Maxwell from Live IT Academy. We're looking at Microsoft Excel, and we are focusing on the save command today, and the save as command. Well, the first thing we have to do is have a Excel workbook open. I'm going to open up a blank workbook, so I'm going to click on that blank workbook, double click on it, and I'm in the file. Now, if I want to save a file, I got to go to the file menu, right? Or I can go to the quick access toolbar and do a save. But remember, the very first save is always a save as. So I'm going to use the file menu to show you that. If I go to file, save, the very first save is always a save as. Notice it went to the save as command, right? And the difference between both, saves your latest changes and keep saving your updates. So as you're creating your document and you're updating your documents, simply hit the save and that will save the latest changes. Save as, however, has the many different functionalities. It allows you to save your file, but it also allows you to change the file name, change the file location, create a copy of the file, and place it in another location. Right? So I usually establish a rule, right? And the first rule that I would establish here is when you're using or opening a new template, either from someone else or an online template, the first thing you want to do is do a save as and change the file name and type to your own. So you're now working on your own file. You can always go back and compare your changes to the existing file. And that always helps, especially if you're working in a corporation where you're using other people's template, because you never want to overlay their files. Okay, all right, so we're in the file save as menu, and notice the first file is book 1, right? So how can we make sure that we save the file so we're organized and we can easily find the file? All right, number one, we can go browse, and browse opens up my save as windows in my operating system. So now we said Excel works with the operating system, allows you to organize your files. All right. So if you're good in organizing the file, the first thing you want to do is to create a folder. So I'm going to click on an empty space here, and I'm going to click on new, and I'm going to click on new folder. So I'm going to create a folder for my new project. So I'm going to call this sales account. And when I click off of sales account, it brings me into the folder sales account, right? Remember, if you're not on that folder, let's go back. If you're not on that folder, you need to click on the folder itself to take you back to that location, the path, right? So if I double click on the folder, so what I'm looking for is that I have the right path. So in my document, I have a folder called sales account, and now I'm going to be creating a file. Now it's important that you call your file or create a name that's meaningful to the document that you're creating. For example, if I'm creating a sales forecast document, I will call my document sales forecast. All right, so this is important because let's say a year from now or months from now, I'm looking for my sales forecast report. I know exactly where to find it, right? I don't have to use the search on my computer to find it because I know I created a sales account folder and I'm putting my sales forecast file in there. In addition to that, notice that there are some properties here, right? The same properties that are under the file menu, right? I can adjust them here as well. For example, here's the title. What if I go and I call this sales forecast, right? Now you'll see that that will appear in my properties as well. So that's one place I can change my properties. But if I want to work with additional features in the properties, I would click on the Save button. I go to my file, and here are the properties, right? The other thing I wanted to point out to you is look at my file name. It's Book One has been replaced by the actual sales forecast file name that I created. Right? That's going to be important to understand what file you're in. Always check the file name as well. Now, if you go back, you'll see the file name on top, the new file name that I created. All right. So we were talking about properties. So you can we know that we did give the title on the window Windows, the operating system save as window. We could do that. But if we want to do more extensive properties, we can come in here. For example, if I wanted to put my company's name, or if I wanted to put a subject, all right, and if I had a manager, or if you want to change your name, so on, you can fill out these properties. These properties stays with the file when you pass the file along, or when you share the file. It just says who is the author who created the file, right? And you can see that there's when it was created and so on, right? If you want to say what content, if I had changed the sheet names, you will see the actual names appear, right? All right, and you can do some customization as well, like pick the fields that you want. Okay, let me say okay here. All right, so we open the file and we a blank file, which is a workbook, and we save that file. Now, let's say we'd exit the program, and now we want to go back to find that file, right? So here we would go to the file menu again, and we can go to open, and we can browse for that file, right? Make sure that if we're not in that folder, we simply browse to that folder. So here's the file I would open, that file, okay? So the open an existing file is one thing to save, but open an existing file. You can also open files in different places simply by browsing for it, right? If I had a file in a different folder, I could then browse for that file in the different libraries or in different folders as well. Okay? All right. So we open up that existing file, and the file name also appears when you do that, right? So you should understand if I'm creating a new file like just that we did, right? We take the same steps, and if you do a save, the very first save is a save as. Any subsequent saves that we do now, all we have to do is just click on the save, right? And you can click here, and whatever changes that you make to your file, that will save the latest changes. So notice there, it doesn't change the save as anymore because it's already saved. So whatever changes when you hit on the save, right? And I will encourage you to save your updates as you create your document, right? Because at the end, if there's some kind of failure within your document, you don't want to lose those changes, okay? All right, so note the file name, and we are now ready to begin to create our documents or to store our information, okay? Good job, guys. This is just the beginning. There's lots to learn. Continue with your lessons. Thank you.